Hey everybody, Molly here. Wanted to pop on before the video and let you know that this was filmed prior to the closure announcements at the Disney parks, so keep that in mind as you're watching. Also wanted to let you know that the videos are going to keep coming throughout this time. We're not going anywhere. We want to make sure that we're still providing great content for you. A lot of people use these as resources when they're planning their trips. Some of the videos may look a little bit different, but we are still going to be putting them out throughout the park closures. But most of all, I wanted to thank you guys for watching. Thank you for following along. It's such a pleasure. It's an honor to help you plan your Disney vacations. So thank you, thank you, thank you. Stay safe. We love you. Tangerine? Tangerine? I know it's not tangerine. Tangerine? Tangerine? Hey everybody, it's Molly with All Ears and I'm here today with an all new video. Today's video, I'm gonna have the best day ever at Epcot. That's right, just like we did at Hollywood Studios and Animal Kingdom, I'm using the All Ears reviews to ride the highest ranked attractions and eat at the highest ranked restaurants. I can almost guarantee you're gonna be surprised by a few of the things I have to do today, and even more surprised by a few things that didn't make the list. Along the way, we'll be talking about these attractions, and at the end, we're gonna decide if this really is the best day ever at Epcot. Are you ready? Are you excited? Let's go. I'm trying to do the best day ever at Epcot in order as much as I can from like worst of the best to best of the best. However, I'm gonna throw a wrench in that for the first thing I have to eat today, and that is breakfast at the Garden Grill restaurant. Garden Grill is a character dining experience in the Land Pavilion, which is where Soarin' is, and it's got Mickey, Pluto, Chip, and Dale, and it's an all-you-care-to-enjoy family-style feast. They are open for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and cumulatively, if you average the reviews for all of those things together, it's an 8.86, which is still really high and would have made the list. However, breakfast alone had a 9.39, making it the highest reviewed meal at anywhere in Epcot, according to you on the All Ears website. So I had to come check out breakfast. So I'm gonna go with breakfast there right now and see if we think a 9.39 is a fair rating for this super fun character meal. The Garden Grill, no matter when you come, is served family style. So this is similar to Ohana, where they are gonna bring everything to your table so you don't have to get up. You can always ask for more if you want something, and everybody's gonna get everything. And it makes it a lot easier, especially if you've got little ones, you're not trying to get up and down and go to a buffet. Included with the price of the meal are sodas, coffee, tea, and then they do have specialty beverages such as mimosa, Bloody Mary, bottled beer, a specialty cocktail, and a character drink that can be added on for an additional cost. And of course, if you're on the dining plan, you do get an alcoholic beverage with each table service meal, so you could add one of those on as part of your dining plan. They just brought the first course, and it is this bowl of yummy, yummy looking fresh fruit. One thing that's really cool about the Garden Grill is they use a lot of fresh produce from the land. So I always recommend riding Living with the Land, the attraction, before you eat here, so your kids can see the strawberries and then know they ate them, which is really fun. Or lettuce at dinner, or pineapple, or cucumber, whatever. And then this is Chip 'n Dale's Sticky Bun, which looks absolutely amazing, and maybe the most frosting I've ever seen on a Disney cinnamon roll. So I'm very, very jazzed. These are all my friends. Did you make all this food? You made one thing? You made this, oh, you made the cinnamon rolls. Those are delicious, one of my favorites. Should all my friends come visit you here? Thanks, Chip. My server went ahead and brought some sauces. This is a chocolate hazelnut, which she recommended with the strawberries, but it's gonna go on, I presume, waffles normally. Ketchup, I'm not recommending that with strawberries. And then some salsa, some fresh salsa. So that salsa looks amazing, and I'd almost guarantee that it's made from stuff at the land. I'm gonna confirm, but that will be for the main course, which is coming soon. I also got my drinks. I ordered some Pog juice. This is the infamous Disney passion fruit orange guava juice. A little water, and of course, you know I'm gonna get some coffee at breakfast. I got my big plate ready. Got some Mickey waffles, which are my favorites. A little bacon, little hash browns, or tater tots. They said they're hash brown style potato barrels. Read tater tots. And then I put some of that salsa on the eggs because I confirmed it is made fresh with all the stuff from the land, so I'm super jazzed about that. And then my server advised putting the Nutella chocolate sauce on like everything, which I'm gonna try. Starting with these eggs that I'm so excited about, getting Wow. That salsa is so good. I just got a little bit on that last bite. I'm gonna get more. And it's so fresh. It has a little bit of heat, but a lot of flavor. I truly wish they sold that. If I could have it with some chips, but wow, that is very good salsa. I'm gonna do a little potato barrel. Yep, that's a tater tot. Sausage. Ooh, that's very flavorful. Not too spicy, not too hot, but it's got a lot of good flavor. A little bacon. Which my server suggests I dip in this chocolate spread, like a sweet salty deal. I'm gonna do it. It works. They sell chocolate covered bacon like at the Polynesian, so if that's your thing. I thought it was pretty good, but gotta go with bacon. And of course, a little bite of this Mickey waffle here. They are literally perfect every single time I've ever had a Mickey waffle in my years of life. I've never had a bad Mickey waffle, and I've had hundreds of Mickey waffles, and they are the pinnacle of breakfast at Disney World. These are all my friends. Oh, no, just you in the video. You were always the more mischievous of the two, aren't you? I mean, you know, who's to say? Donald, probably. We don't worry about him. Did you make some of this food? You did? It's delicious. You were back in the kitchen just baking and stirring up everything. Oh, you're wiped. You didn't just sit down or anything? Well, I'm telling all my friends to come visit you. Oh, you're so sweet. Another very cool and very unique thing about this restaurant, and why it's probably one of the best to bring your kids to, is it actually rotates very slowly. You're not going to feel it or anything, but it rotates through different scenes of Living with the Land. So you'll go through we're on the prairie scene, you'll see the country scene, you'll see the rainforest, and it keeps your kids entertained because you're slowly moving throughout your meal, and it's really fun. You're just the cutest. These are all my friends, and I'm telling them to come visit you. Yeah, and they can have breakfast. Now, did you cook any of this? Or grow any of this? You did? You're the farmer. Okay, what? Oh, you grew the fruit. Oh my goodness, and it tastes extra special. You grew with love. Oh, you're gardening. Out in the greenhouse, I saw it. Amazing. You're a mouse of many skills, Mickey. Ready to try my sweet stuff. The fruit is really good. It's really fresh, and if you want to zhuzh it up, you can definitely dip it in that chocolate hazelnut. But it is really nice having just like fresh fruit amidst all this really heavy, carby breakfast goodness. And then to counteract what I just said about having something fresh, here's Chippendale cinnamon roll. And it's a very good cinnamon roll. Lots and lots of frosting, doughy bread, quite delicious. A+ on the cinnamon roll. Hi, Pluto! Oh, you're just the cutest. Can I give you some scratch? Oh, yes. My dog likes that too. Just little scritchy scratchies on there. Did you get any food today? Did Mickey give you some breakfast? I'll share with you. You can have whatever you want, but not chocolate. Doggos can't have chocolate. I know. We want you to be a happy, healthy pupper. You can have bacon, though. A little bacon. There you go. That's the best way to start the day. You're so cute. Thanks, Pluto. That was a perfect way to start my best day ever at Epcot. I definitely think that's worth the 9.39 ranking it has. The food was good quality breakfast classics, the characters were adorable, the cast was wonderful, and it was a really relaxing character meal as far as character meals go. So yeah, I do think that deserves to be one of the top meals as far as characters go, and here at Epcot. Now it's off to new adventures with my giant to-go cup, because my server's the best. I don't have very far to go after my breakfast at Garden Grill for my next adventure, first attraction on the list. I'm headed over to the Seas with Nemo and Friends, but maybe not for what you expect. Here at the Seas with Nemo and Friends, there is a slow-moving attraction aboard a clam mobile that takes you through scenes of Finding Nemo and then into the sea base with real fishies. It does have a 30-minute wait right now, but good thing I don't have to wait in line because we're not going on the attraction. We're going straight into the sea base. That's right, the first thing I have to do today as far as attractions go is explore the sea base. So the Seas Pavilion itself had an 8.5 ranking, and that's not counting the attraction, that's not counting Turtle Talk, that's just the pavilion itself. So exploring the aquariums and the different exhibits, which I'm very excited to do because I love marine life. But it is interesting to note that the Seas with Nemo and Friends, the actual attraction, only scored a 7.75, so I won't even be doing that today. But you can bypass the attraction if you don't want to wait, or if you just want to go explore and get some air conditioning, you can go straight into the Seas Pavilion, which is what we're going to do right now. If you don't want to ride the attraction and just go into the sea base, you can go to the left side of the main entrance for the attraction and go right in this way. You'll enter through the gift shop. Nice change of pace to start with the gift shop instead of end with it, am I right? And then you can work your way into the sea base. Swimming upstream a little bit though, to use a fish-based metaphor. There are several different little exhibit areas. There's Bruce's Shark World here, where you can learn more about sharks. There's Ocean Life here that has some little fishies, manatees, and there's a handy sign right here in the middle that'll tell you what animal is where. So up top you can see the turtles, sharks and rays and dolphins. Down below is Turtle Talk with Crush, the manatees, and the Ocean Life exhibit. If you've watched the channel before, you may know that I love marine life. Sharks are my favorite animal of all time, so I absolutely adore hanging out in the sea base. I think it's a really good break from the heat or the rain or whatever weather is going on. It's a really good spot if you've got little ones, because it's very busy today for some reason, but normally it's not very busy in here, and you can kind of let them burn off a little bit of energy and run around while you're waiting for your next Fast Pass, because they're going to like the little activities there are, and they're going to like looking at all the different marine creatures. So this is a kind of a little bit of a hidden gem. I'm very shocked it has an 8.5, but let's see if something in here changes my mind. Hey Eel, can you believe this has an 8.5? What? No way, Molly, that's crazy. Hey Eel, can you believe that the Seas Ride only has 7.75? Molly, no way, that's the craziest thing I've ever heard. This one says that these animals can camouflage, so it's going to be a little bit trickier to find them, because they have the ability to change their color and blend in. Let's see if I can find some fishies. I really don't see any other fish, so they're not in here or very good at their... Oh my gosh, is that one? That cannot be a fish. Do you see it? I think it is. That thing is massive. Whoa, there's his face. This guy is crazy. Gonna see what kind of fun I can get up to in Bruce's Shark World. Now, there are sharks to be seen, but you have to go to the top floor. The main thing in here is there's this like shark area where you can take really cute pictures with Bruce and Anchor and Chum. What's the scariest word to a shark? Human. That's right, because we're the #1 predator of sharks in the sea, and we're killing them at an alarming rate, considering they're a necessary part of the food chain. The last thing on the main floor is the manatee exhibit, and it's manatee rehabilitation, because we're in Florida and there's a lot of manatees, and unfortunately sad little manatees look like logs in the ocean and they get hit by boats, and it's really upsetting. So these are all rehabbed manatees, and they're very cute, and I love watching them eat their little lettuce. Look at him! You can actually see the manatees underwater like that on level 1, and then you can take the stairs or the escalator up to level 2. Woo! Which I'm doing right now, because then you can actually look down on the manatees. Level 2 is also where the really big aquarium is, with like the sharks and a bunch of the fish and turtles, so we're going to check that out while we're up here too. Make sure to look down too. You'll see things like sharks down at the bottom and rays. I'm looking for the turtle because there's a big turtle in here. There he is.
Wow, that is so
Hey,
cool.
buddy. He's just chilling. There's a huge, not very hidden Mickey at the bottom of this as well. You can show your kiddos. And if you're a diving fan, you can actually dive in here as one of Epcot's mini tours. You have to be a certified scuba diver, but you can come and dive here. The last thing on the Sea Base second level is the nursery. And I actually don't think I've ever been in here. So let's learn together. I'm usually too busy looking at sharks. And it's talking about different sea environments and how you can help. Look at all the Nemo fish. Look at all of them. They're so cute. There's some baby rays in here. Look at these little guys. They're right there. There's really not many people in here either, so this may be a little secret spot to bring the kiddos. There's a dory too. Look at these giant clams. These are unreal. Like, that's massive. Overall, I do really enjoy the Sea Base. I love looking at all these different creatures. I love the interactive elements of it, and it definitely has like that original Epcot educational feel. That said, I think an 8.5 is very generous, especially considering it's not an actual attraction. There are similar things elsewhere in the world. You can go to aquariums and things. So I think an 8.5 is a little high, especially when you see what it's tied with, which I'm headed to next. So for me, I would put the Sea Base by itself closer to like a 7. I think the attraction should be ranked a little bit higher, but it's a great place to cool off. It's really fun after you've ridden the attraction, maybe while you're waiting for Turtle Talk, and if you need a place for your kids to run around a little bit, it's great for that. But I think an 8.5 is a little high. Myself, I'd give just the Sea Base closer to like a 7.5, maybe a 7. But on to the next thing. I'm headed to my next attraction, and the direction I'm going is probably a big hint about what it is, but wanted to point out a little bit of the Epcot construction that's going on. So right now the middle part of Epcot, where Electric Umbrella, Penn Central, Starbucks, that doesn't exist anymore basically. And when you get into the park, you're going to get diverted left or right. So if you get diverted right, you're going to come down this path that's going to dump you right by the seas. So this is the direction you want to go if you want to go first to the seas or the land or the Imagination pavilions. The breezeway is completely closed off, as you can see by this wall over here. And then there's another temporary path on the other side that would dump you out near Mission Space and Test Track. We'll be over that way in a little bit. And that is the way you'd go if you want to go to Mission Space, Test Track, the temporary mouse gear. Technically, either way is going to take you to World Showcase, so it depends which country you want to go to first. Over here on the Nemo Land Imagination side, that is going to dump you out when you get to World Showcase area in Canada first, and then the UK, France, etc. If you go the other way to World Showcase, you're going to get to the Epcot experience at the Odyssey, which is then Mexico, Norway, etc. So you kind of want to know where you're going when you first get in the park. There's lots of signs and cast members available to help you, but things look a little different right now. That said, only Disney would think to make all the construction walls the cutest things ever, and they're so Instagrammable, so you can find your favorite characters along the walls, and they have color-coded them based on which half of the park. So this half, because this is the one that would take you to the seas, the land, and Imagination, it's like blues and greens. And what you'll see in a little bit are the ones going over to the Test Track side of things are reds and pinks. So you kind of understand where you're going. But you'll notice all these cute characters as you walk along. Like there's Pua and Hey Hey from Moana, some of the little angry coconut dudes. And again, friendly cast members everywhere to help you, but they, of course, Disney made these walls super cute, so now you're going to want to take your picture with if you find your favorite character. Like, I adore these sea lions from Finding Dory, especially the dumb one with the unibrow. Let's make Gerald selfies a thing. Take them. tag us on Instagram and Twitter with your Gerald selfies. The next, gonna lose my ears. The next attraction on my list is tied in 6th place with an 8.5, tied with the Sea Base, and it's the legendary and iconic Spaceship Earth. That's right, Spaceship Earth, one of the most favorite popular rides at Epcot, only has an 8.5, which is actually a really good rating, but I'm just saying it's tied with the Sea Base, which is just kind of silliness in my opinion. But Spaceship Earth is slow-moving time travel through time. Did that make sense? Slow-moving travel through time, and it just was announced that it's going under refurbishment starting May 26th of this year. They are going to be closing the attraction for a pretty long time, it feels like, and they are going to be reimagining it along with the transformation of Epcot. So from the concept art that we've seen, it doesn't look like they're completely changing the storyline, but as opposed to being communication through time, it's more about storytelling through time, and they're going to add some new effects in and make it more modern and exciting. I know a lot of people are nervous about this one because Spaceship Earth is so beloved. A lot of people are like, who's going to be the new narrator? I totally have that question as well. Because goodbye Dame Judi Dench. But from the concept art, knowing and trusting in the Walt Disney Company, I think it's going to be awesome, and it's going to be a much needed freshness brought to Epcot, because remember, Epcot's all about technology and change, and Walt Disney himself said keep moving forward and everything has to change, and he wouldn't like it if everything just stayed the same. That would be completely against what he was into. So that said, if you want to ride it the way it is now, you need to come here before May 26th, and we're going to ride it right now because it's on the list. It is always so windy by Spaceship Earth. That's because it creates a wind tunnel, but also you'll never get wet if you're standing under Spaceship Earth, because there's gaps in between all the triangles on the globe, golf ball, Spaceship Earth itself, whatever you want to call it, but there's 1-inch gaps in between all the triangles, and those collect rainwater and then funnel it into the lagoon as part of Disney's conservation efforts. So you'll never get wet if you're standing under Spaceship Earth, but you will get possibly blown away.
And unfortunately accidents, but it also brings with it the dawn of Disney civilization.
Stop. My favorite thing about these is that they have to make the bodies unisex because they don't know whose face is going to go on it. You're going to notice this now. When you exit Spaceship Earth, you come into Project Tomorrow, which is more hands-on activities that you can do throughout here. I just talked to a cast member and he was pretty sure but wasn't 100% sure. They hadn't officially said if this area is closing with Spaceship Earth, but he guessed it would be. We'll definitely keep you updated. My guess is it will be closed as well, and while they haven't officially announced anything about this, my guess is this will be transformed into something new for the transformation to reopen when Spaceship Earth does. The good news is, at least for right now, the bubblegum wall still exists. Matches my ears. Will the bubblegum wall survive the transformation? I sure hope so. But we shall see. I wonder if you'll be able to access this when this closes. We will find out together on May 26th. I do think an 8.5 is a pretty fair ranking for Spaceship Earth. It's maybe a little high in my opinion. It's probably closer to like an 8, but keep in mind we are only ranking things against other Epcot things. We are not looking at the other parks. So yeah, I think an 8.5, I'm not mad at that, is a fair ranking for Spaceship Earth. I definitely think now, considering we just rode Spaceship Earth, now you should definitely think the Sea Base is a little bit lower, considering classic, much beloved attraction versus kind of walk through aquarium area. Not that I don't love both. So yeah, I think an 8 or an 8.5 is a pretty accurate ranking for Spaceship Earth. And now we're on to a new adventure. But I do think Spaceship Earth should absolutely be part of your best day ever at Epcot, especially because it's going to be closed and we'll never see this version again starting May 26th. So you got to get here one more time at least. Does anyone else wave at themselves when they walk by Spaceship Earth? Hello, me! Headed back in the same direction we started this adventure. So again, this is the pathway that takes you to the seas, the land, and imagination. I know it looks like a lot of construction and it's definitely a lot of walls, but truly, almost everything is still open. So you just have to decide which way you want to go earlier than normal. I am back at the Seas with Nemo and Friends Pavilion. And once again, not to ride the ride, we're going back in the same entrance we were in earlier, getting some deja vu, because we're gonna go talk to a turtle. Turtle Talk with Crush has an 8.6 on our rankings, and it is an interactive show with Crush, everybody's favorite turtle from Finding Nemo and Finding Dory, here at the Seas Pavilion. It's in the sea base. So it is an interactive show, which means it's going to be different every time you see it. They do encourage your kiddos to sit near the front so that they can ask Crush questions about being a turtle. He's going to ask you questions about being a human, and I actually think it's a super, super cute show. It is a fast pass attraction, however, most of the time you definitely don't need a fast pass here because the wait is usually however long the previous show was, and unless it's a really busy day, you're probably going to get into the next show. So if it's like your ultimate must-do, I always say get a fast pass, and then when you get here, you can always change it for something else, but for me, this is not what I would book with a fast pass because it's only a 10-minute wait right now, so I think I'm just waiting for the next show.
Alright, dude, I'll rip it, roll it, punch. Dude, I hit the glass. Hey, Crush, watch out for the glass. Oh, good one, Hank. That was like, dudes, everyone yell, turtle pile.
Repeat after me. Hello, whale.
Let's do it. Dude, awesome whale.
Overall, I do think Turtle Talk is really, really cute, and it's a great thing for kids. They're gonna like talking to Crush. As a pro tip, get them prepared that they may get to ask him a question and have them come up with a question like, how old are turtles, or how many children do you have, or what's your favorite thing to eat? So that way when they ask for questions, they can raise their fin really high and have a really good question. Do I think it's an 8.6? Probably not. I don't think it outranks Spaceship Earth. I personally don't think it outranks the attraction. I think it's a good complement to the attraction, but for me, I would put Turtle Talk with Crush closer to like maybe a 7.5, and then I would have the attraction at closer to an 8 along with Spaceship Earth. But we're off on our next adventure. Let's see where we go. Also, as I'm walking to my next adventure, I wanted to point out something I see happen a lot, and it's that a lot of people will come out of attractions, especially kid-friendly attractions, and they'll be like, where's my stroller? It's not where I parked it. And that's because cast members move the strollers to make sure there's plenty of room in the walkway. So yes, your stroller may not be where you parked it initially, but it will be in the parking lots nearby, or maybe you parked it somewhere you weren't supposed to because they've designated parking to make it less cluttered, and in that case the cast members will definitely move it to one of the parking lots. So don't freak out, it's probably not gone, it's just been moved, and you can always find a friendly cast member to help you if you can't locate it quickly. Strolling through the World Showcase, it will come as a surprise to no one probably that the remaining 3 food items we're gonna eat / talk about today are in the World Showcase, but I bet what they are will surprise you. And more importantly, what is not on the list will probably surprise you. In 4th place for food, the next place we're gonna eat is in Morocco, and it's at the Tangerine? I know it's not Tangerine. Tangerine? Can't pronounce it. We're gonna find out how to pronounce it when I get inside. But this quick service location in Morocco has a score of an 8.49 on the All Ears review. So we are gonna go check out what they have to eat, grab a bite ourselves, see if we think it's worthy of that. It looks like a tangerine on there, but I really am not so sure. I know that's not how you spell tangerine. The menu here is a lot of meat, but they do actually have some really good vegetarian options as well. And it's a little bit healthier, actually probably a lot bit healthier than other things you're gonna eat in the World Showcase. A lot of people really like their shawarma platters, which are lamb or chicken or a combo, and they come with hummus and some bread and couscous. They've got specialty wraps. For the little ones that don't want to adventure out this far, or adults, you can order off the kids' meal. You can do a hamburger or chicken nuggies. You can also get some of those sides by themselves. And then they've got a kefta wrap, a veggie platter, and a sliders combo. So a little something unique, a little something maybe outside the box or outside your comfort zone, but it's got tons of great reviews, so here we go. All right, I settled on one of the shawarma platters, and I'm horribly sorry for anything I can't pronounce, because that was mentioned most of all in the reviews, and when I asked the cast member, she said it was one of the most popular items. I went with the chicken, which is right here, and the lamb, because I'm getting crazy and adventurous, but you can do one or the other. It comes with some Moroccan bread, which reminds me of a pita. There's some hummus, some tabbouleh, and some couscous. And I'm ready to dive in. And first impressions, this is a massive serving of food. Second impression, why is this pavilion the most gorgeous thing ever? Also, I confirmed it. It is tangerine like the fruit. So my instincts were correct and I should never have doubted them. But there you go. All right, you can actually see the meat cooking in there while you're waiting. So that is how you know how it's fresh. Starting with the chicken. Whoa. It's got like a tzatziki sauce going on. I think that's tzatziki. Tzatziki-esque. Definitely a yogurty based sauce. But wow, that is flavorful and moist. I did not even need a knife to cut it. That is delicious. True fact, I've actually never eaten here, so besides baklava. And this is wow. All right, now I'm gonna try lamb. I've had lamb like 2 other times my whole life. That's good. Definitely a little bit darker of a flavor, is that right? Then the chicken, a little heavier. Chicken's a lot lighter, but both meats are super, super moist and flavorful. Now let's get into these sides, starting with the couscous. That is incredibly flavorful. There's a citrus element to it. Now tabbouleh, which I've never had. That is a treat. That is so light and fresh, and it's got a good crunch to it. That is good. And now something I eat a lot of in my home off-camera life, hummus. That bread is delicious. The hummus is really good. I'm now going to take pieces of the bread, put some of the tabbouleh, hummus, and chicken on it. See if that is a success. Hold please. Made my little creation. That was delicious. This whole place is delicious. And I definitely think that 8.49 is a very fair score. I think it's unique, it's fresh, it's a little bit lighter. This is definitely shareable. So, especially because you're probably going to be doing a lot of eating when you're at Epcot, you could get at least 2, maybe even 3 people just kind of picking at this for a little bit more substantial of a snack or a light lunch before a big meal or eating your way around the world. I'm into it. I quite enjoyed my meal, my lunch at Tangerine, which I can confidently say now. Cafe in Morocco. Will I eat there again? Absolutely. Is it the best thing I've ever eaten at Epcot? No. For me, I still love and adore the quick service locations in the France Pavilion as well as the Mexico Pavilion, and I love fish and chips in the UK. So if you can only eat one quick service meal, I'd recommend one of those. However, if you're on a special diet, you're looking for something a little lighter, fresher, or you want to share it for a good snack, I really enjoyed that. So yeah, I'll definitely be back to balance out all the cookies and sugar I eat. But now I'm gonna walk to just a a few steps over to our next country to talk about the number 3 ranked dining restaurant, according to you. Welcome to Japan, home of our next restaurant on the list. Number 3, it has an 8.73, which is a pretty high jump considering it's almost a whole quarter of a point from our last spot, but it's Teppan Edo. Teppan Edo is the Japan Pavilion's hibachi style restaurant, so you've probably been to something similar where they cook all the meat in front of you on that really hot grill. They do all the tricks like the volcano, they make a little Mickey out of food. It's a lot of fun. I do think Teppan Edo has really good food. Anytime I've been there, I've always been entertained. It's a high quality meal and it's a lot of fun. That said, it's something that you can get at a lot of restaurants around the country. So to me, that kind of takes away from the score a little bit. I don't think an 8.73 is a bad score, but to me, this is not where I would choose to eat and do a sit-down restaurant here in the World Showcase because it's something you can get elsewhere. I would personally rather go somewhere that I'm not going to get the same experience that I could get at like a Benihana. So I think an 8.73 is fine. To me, what's more shocking is that this outranked a lot of restaurants that I would rank higher, like Chefs de France, which I don't eat a lot of French food except for here in Epcot. So there's a couple more unique things. I would even put the Beer Garden higher than this because it's more of a different experience and there's still that entertainment value. So if you like Japanese food, it's going to be a great restaurant. It's a really good use of a table service credit, but for me, it's not that it hasn't a high ranking, it's that it outranked a lot of things that would be my personal preference when it comes to eating here. So let me know what you think. If Teppan Edo is your must eat when you're here, I definitely want to hear that in the comments. I am headed back to the Land Pavilion for my next attraction. Spoiler alert, it's not Awesome Planet, so I bet you can guess what I'm gonna do next. You've got about 3 minutes for me to walk over there. And by that, I mean like 4 seconds because of the magic of editing. If you're wondering what I mean when I say reviews, when I'm talking about these numbers, where did I get these from? On the allears.net website, we have this super cool section for reviews from people like you that read the website, that watch the blogs, and we want you to go review different things that you've done at Walt Disney World. So attractions, restaurants, experiences, whatever is on there, we want you to go review it, rank it, score it, give your feedback, so that way other guests that are coming to Disney World can go read through them and help decide what they want to do throughout their adventure. So that is where I am getting all of my scores for today. We're definitely going to link that for you, and I'm going to encourage you to go leave your own reviews on all different things that you've done in Disney World. Use your expertise, share it with others, especially after you see some of the stuff we do today. You may want to go change what the current rankings are. The next attraction on my list, the number 4 attraction according to you, is right behind me. It's Livin' with the Land. It has an 8.69 score on our reviews. And Livin' with the Land is a slow-moving boat ride, and it goes through the greenhouses here at Epcot. So you can actually see them growing a bunch of produce. You can see fish. It's a lot of fun. I actually really like this attraction. I'm a little surprised it outscored Spaceship Earth, but let's take a look. Let's go see what they're growing today and see if that shakes out correctly. Livin' with the Land is very often a walk-on attraction. Like right now, it has a posted 10-minute wait, but I don't even think it's that long. However, sometimes on really busy days or first thing mid-morning or so before World Showcase opens, it can get up to half an hour. So this is another one that I suggest if it's a must-do on your list, book the second-tier Fast Pass for it, and then if you get here and it doesn't have a long line, change it to something else. But it's kind of hit or miss. Kind of like Spaceship Earth. It could have a 10-minute line, it could have a 40-minute line. So, ironically, the boat, well, it's still moving, but the attraction has been delayed, they keep saying. So it's kind of just floating along, but I've been in here for a while. Not really sure what's going on. Maybe they're loading or unloading a wheelchair party. Maybe something, a little temporary issue. Either way, I'm just slowly rolling through the greenhouse at this point. My favorite part of this so far is that every time the cast member gets on the stereo, the intercom.
Ladies and gentlemen, may I have your attention please? Living with the Land presented by Chiquita is experiencing technical difficulties. Please remain seated as motion may resume at any moment. We apologize for the delay and appreciate your patience and cooperation.
Every time they get on the intercom to tell us it's been delayed and remain seated, they say Living with the Land presented by Chiquita, because I'm sure that's in the script that they have to say, but it's making me giggle that they throw in the sponsor. Would Chiquita want to be a part of this? They just came on again and said it's been powered down completely, which kind of makes me think I'm about to get evac'd off this. Fingers crossed. That's not ideal, but it's interesting. For now, look at those lilies.
Ladies and gentlemen, may I have your attention, please? Living with the Land, Lieutenant Chiquita is experiencing technical difficulties. Please remain seated. This motion will resume at any moment.
Hooray! An announcement came on, said they were powering up in normal mode and it would resume, so we have resumed. It's still going really slow, but let's hope our troubles are behind us. So we didn't get evac'd. We were delayed maybe 15 minutes, and we are now a little bit backed up at unload, which is to be expected. And I noticed there is a cast member here. He's got a mobile device. Presented by Chiquita. I can't.
Please gather all your personal belongings. Lower your head.
But they're advising you to have your ticket or magic band ready because they're going to put a redemption fast pass on here. Thank you. And that fast pass is going to be good for anything for the rest of the day except for Soarin', Test Track, or Frozen Ever After. So gotta love that Disney service. That wasn't even a big inconvenience. I wouldn't have expected that. It was only like I said, 10, maybe 15 minutes. And it wasn't like it was hot or raining or anything. So yeah, I thought that was a nice little bonus. And it just so happens I don't have a fast pass for the next thing on my list because you don't normally need one, but I just looked at my Disney experience. It's about a 20-minute wait, which really isn't that long at all, but hey, if I've got a free fast pass, I'm gonna use it. Living with the Land, 8.69. I mean, not that time, am I right? But I think comparing it to the rest of stuff at Epcot, that's probably fair. I think in my opinion, Living with the Land and Spaceship Earth are pretty comparable, which they are. I also put the Seas in that same category, and the Seas didn't even make this video, so I think an 8.69 is fine. I think most people, though, would rank Spaceship Earth over Living with the Land, so I really think it deserves closer to like an 8, but 8.69 is not crazy. You can probably guess where I'm going right now. There's only 2 choices over on this side of the park, and that's Test Track or Mission Space. Test Track or Mission Space. Which one am I going to? I'm clearly walking away from Test Track, so I gotta ride Mission Space. If there's one way to get me excited about riding Mission Space, it's by putting my main man Buzz Lightyear right in front of it. This does change things just a little bit. He is out for the Flower and Garden Festival, which kicks off on March 4th. It's my favorite of the Epcot festivals. And he's here greeting me. Hey, babe. Wish me luck. Mission Space is the number 3 attraction on our list. It has a score of 8.71. As you may know, Mission Space is a simulator ride that blasts you off into space. There are 2 different sides of the attraction. There's the green side, that's the less mild, or that's the less intense, more mild side. That one takes you on a slingshot around the world, so you actually get to look down and see like the Great Wall of China and Paris and all different places as you look down because you're up in space. The more intense, much scarier, more vomit-worthy mission is the Orange mission, which sends you to Mars, and they put barf bags in there to give you a hint of how intense it is. I appreciate the technology of Mission Space. I appreciate how realistic it is. They actually, I say this every time, had astronauts from NASA come test this out. It took them 5 years to develop the technology. The astronaut said this is one of the most realistic simulators, but still, it usually makes me very nauseous. I've done both on camera. The orange hurts my soul. So I'm gonna do green right now. If you're not sure what you wanna do, if you're not sure if you can handle this, ride green first. It usually doesn't have a long line, and then jump in back and go for orange. But I promise if you go orange first and you're not sure, you're in for a treat. I did use that bonus fast pass I got from Living with the Land, but it only had a 10-minute wait for green and a 15-minute wait for orange. So this one doesn't necessarily need a fast pass. It will probably be out of fast passes though, because a lot of people grab it as their tier 2 selection. So if you can't get it, don't fret. You'll probably be able to walk on or fiddle faddle for it. And I've said this before, but the scariest part of this attraction, especially on the orange side, is how many times they warn you about the attraction. They're like, are you sure you want to ride this? It's a high intense simulator. Are you sure you can leave now? You may want to leave now if you're not really sure about this. You know it's a simulator, right? It's really realistic. If you get motion sick, don't ride this. Oh, by the way, are you sure you want to ride this? All right, Mission Space Green really isn't that bad. It doesn't really make me that nauseous. It's probably on par with like Star Tours. I actually think Star Tours makes me more nauseous than green, but orange makes me like incredibly nauseous. So like I said, I recommend riding green first. If you're cool with that, then jump on orange, because orange spins in addition to all the other effects, and it really makes you feel those G-forces, and it's still a simulator. So I think an 8.71 is a very fair score for Mission Space. I think, like I said, technology's incredible, the theming's incredible, and as long as you like simulator rides, then you're really going to enjoy it, because it's more than just a regular simulator. It's like a plussed up simulator. So I think that's a very fair ranking, and now I'm off to Norway. I'm sure no one's surprised I'm visiting Norway on this video, but off we go. I made it to Norway, excited to do this next thing. I don't actually have a fast pass though, which doesn't matter because it's the Kringla Bakery. Fooled ya. I bet you thought I was going to say it's Frozen Ever After, but it's not. Frozen Ever After didn't even make the list. It actually didn't even come close to making the list. It only has a score of a 7.73, which means it's beat out by The Seas with Nemo and Friends, The Sea Base, Mission Space, Living with the Land, and Spaceship Earth. I'm personally shocked by that because I love Frozen Ever After and I think it's adorable. I don't know if people are mad that Maelstrom is gone, or maybe they're upset that it always has a long line and it's a hard fast pass, but I personally think Frozen Ever After is a really great attraction, whether you're obsessed with the movie Frozen or not. The animatronics are amazing, that soundtrack is amazing, you know you like it, so yeah, I'm shocked Frozen Ever After didn't make it, but the bakery here in Norway, the Kringla Bakery, is actually the #1 food place voted by you on our reviews, which is also shocking for other reasons. The Kringla Bakery has a score of a 9.06. It's the quick service location here in the Norway Pavilion. They've got sandwiches and pastries and different treats. It's a little bit lighter fare, but yeah, this is the #1 dining location in Epcot according to our reviews, which, okay, let's go get a treat and then we'll talk about that. I do very much enjoy the decor in here. Makes it feel like you're in a Scandinavian house. And I can say house like that because I am Swedish. As far as the menu goes, they do have some sandwiches and salads. They have a salmon bagel, and then what they're really known for are their treats. So they've got school bread, which is a kind of what they're known for. They've got rice cream, a troll horn, and then they have always some really cute Frozen themed desserts as well. Looking in the case, we've got that school bread, the rice cream, which is actually what I ate on the Most Authentic Snacks Around the World video. We can link that for you. There's always a little Olaf cheesecake, the lefse, I don't know how to pronounce that one, the troll horn, little Frozen 2 cupcakes. They also have a couple different versions of Kringla, which is what this bakery is actually known for. They have a chocolate one, and then an almond one. And then again, here's those dishes. Yeah. One thing that isn't great about Kringla is this is the whole seating area. There's a couple other places you can kind of like perch, but as far as actual tables go, it's very limited. That's probably because most of the options are like grab and goes. But I'm surprised people didn't make more comments of that in their reviews. I decided to get the school bread because I've actually never had this before, and it's, like I said, kind of something they're known for. It's bread, and it's got this sweet cream custard on it, and it's got coconut. And I love coconut, so you know what? We're gonna try it, see what we think. When you rip it open, there's more of that custard on the inside. So I'm hoping this is like a sweet but not too sweet situation. Got myself a good bite with a lot of coconut and some custard. They're pretty good. I love coconut, so I wish there was more coconut. The cream almost has like a, I don't think it has citrus, but maybe it does. Kind of has a lemony vibe. I do really like this. But if I'm gonna eat a treat in the World Showcase, it's coming from the France Bakery. No offense to anyone that this is their favorite. Delicious treats. No wrong in that. But the France Bakery has the best treats. IMO. And the France Bakery had like a score of like an 8 or an 8.1, which is crazy town to me. But this is good. I'm not denying that. But it's not my favorite treat I've ever had in the World Showcase. But it's very good, and I know a lot of people like it a lot. I'm not mad that Kringle has over a 9. I mean, it's good quality food for what it is. It has good treats. If you're looking for something a little bit more fresh, you definitely are going to find it there because they've got those sandwiches and they've got a salad and they've got that salmon bagel, so it's not so heavy as some of the other countries. What I am shocked about is what it beat. Like I said, Les Halles, the French bakery, which has the most delicious food in my opinion. It's got made from scratch baguettes and all kinds of cheeses and quiche and also a bunch of sandwiches and similar things, but more variety, and they're better in my opinion. That only scored an 8.14. La Cava del Tequila is lower than that, which has delicious margaritas. The Cantina de San Angel has like a 7.3, which I would agree with a couple years ago because it was basically just Tex-Mex, but in the last few years they've brought in a lot more authentic flavors, and you can get bowls, and they've got a salsa bar, and that's a really great spot in my opinion. Plus a lot more seating, and you're on the lagoon, so you could potentially watch the fireworks from there. Fish and chips were actually the next thing on the list. They were an 8.39, but I think fish and chips are a much more iconic snack. So I think the food kind of missed the mark on this best day ever. Let's recap that we had Kringle, Garden Grill, which I do like, Teppanydo, and the Tangerine Cafe in Morocco. So maybe some people need to go leave some reviews of things, because that to me is not the best food ever when you come to Epcot. Definitely go leave some reviews and comments about what your favorite thing is to eat in Epcot. Nothing I had was bad. I would eat it all again. But for me, those are just not the best of the best when it comes to dining in Epcot. But maybe I'm wrong. Maybe those are really the crowd favorites and I just have different tastes. So let me know in the comments and go leave some reviews so we can shake up these rankings a little bit if they deserve to be. Do you feel the need for speed? I sure hope so, because the #2 runner-up attraction at Epcot, according to the reviews, is Test Track. It has a score of a 9.35, which I actually think is pretty fair. It's a little low compared to what I thought the reviews would be, but that's pretty right on the money as far as I'm concerned. It is the fastest ride in Walt Disney World, 40-inch height requirement, very popular, so if it's a must-do for you, I definitely recommend getting that Fast Pass. They do also have a single rider line, which is what I'm going to jump in right now, and it just reopened from refurbishment. I don't think they actually did anything other than just like refurbish it and make sure it's all running and working perfectly. Maybe some touch-ups here and there, but I'll see if I notice anything different. So off we go. Fastest ride in Walt Disney World. And it's cold tonight, so it's gonna be a real treat. Something interesting just happened. They came on and said that there was a delay in the design process and that would take longer. And I don't know if that means the attraction's actually closed or the designing is having an issue. I didn't know if that was like their code word for it, but they are still moving people up, which makes me think it is just the design process, but I'll keep you posted. Yeah, I do think this is just the design process because they're moving all the single riders up. They just moved up the standby Fast Pass people, so something's going on in the design lab that's causing a little bit of a delay there. This design lab is empty, so I'm wondering if one of the labs is having issues and then therefore they're having to put everybody in another lab, which is what's taking longer. It actually took like 40 minutes to get here, which is definitely the longest I've ever waited in a single rider, but there was some kind of delay in the design room, so I think they were trying to pump through all the people that were Fast Pass and standby, mostly Fast Pass though, which is what added in my delay here, so what are you gonna do? Still a lot faster than however long standby was.
Data acquired.
1. As I predicted, the refurbishment was just some computer updates and mechanical stuff, so nothing different as far as, so rude, the ride's actual appearance. But I do think a 9.35 is a pretty spot-on score for Test Track. In my opinion, it probably is the second, maybe the third best attraction in the park. Depends on what you're going for, but if you're a thrill seeker, this is definitely a must-do on your Epcot day. And yeah, I think a 9.35 is a really good score, and I think second place is well-deserved by Test Track. So now, headed to the #1 attraction at Epcot. I'm sure you can guess what it is, and we'll see you there in just a few magical movie seconds. But in reality, it's really cold and I gotta walk kind of a far ways because of all the construction. It's actually really not that much further, but it's cold. So I'm just complaining about it. I've gotten several messages of people being like, should I even come to Epcot because of all the construction? And yes, you should still come to Epcot. It's still a wonderful and exciting place. Look, where else are you gonna meet Woody as a topiary? So yes, you should still come to Epcot. I know the construction isn't the most beautiful thing ever, and it does make getting from like across Future World a little more time consuming, but for the most part, everything is still open. World Showcase is basically untouched. Even the stuff that they're doing in France, you can't even really tell when you're actually in the park. And if you want to know what they're doing in France and all about all the updates coming, definitely check out my Epcot transformation video that we did where we talk about everything happening. So yeah, you should definitely still come to Epcot. Don't worry about the construction. The main thing is that the center part here of Future World is closed off, so you have to just immediately when you get in the park, choose left or right. But besides that, yes, you should still come here. It's a wonderful park. In my defense, I just met some folks from Michigan, northern Michigan, and they said they were cold. So my Floridian blood is real cold. Headed now into Imagination for the final attraction. No, I'm not. I'm just kidding. I'm so sorry, Figment fans, but Journey into Imagination featuring Figment did not make the day today. In fact, it was on the worst day in Walt Disney World video I did, where I used all of the worst ranked food and attractions around all 4 parks, and I did all of those things to see if it really was the worst day in Disney. We'll link that video for you. I didn't do it. Don't yell at me. I'm not the people that reviewed it. But definitely want you to check that one out. And I want to talk about how, because of that video, some of the things on there have already grown in the rankings, like the Enchanted Tiki Room, which for some reason was part of the worst day at Disney, but you guys have saved it and you have ranked the Tiki Room fairly now. So make sure you go rank and review these things that we're talking about so that they are accurate and helpful to folks that are planning their vacations. But now I'm going to the actual pavilion where this #1 ride is. About to board the #1 attraction in Epcot according to you, Soarin'! I'm sure you could have probably guessed that before I even started this video. Soarin' has a score of a 9.67, and while I agree with it being the best attraction in Epcot, I think that's actually a little too low. This is one of the most popular attractions in all of Walt Disney World. It's one that everyone who's tall enough can enjoy, from the youngest to the oldest in your family. It's one of my family's favorite attractions. It's my mom's favorite attraction. Hi, Mom. I have to say that every time. And it takes you on a hand gliding journey around the world, and you're going to soar over a lot of famous monuments such as the Great Wall of China, the African Savannah, and the Sydney Harbor. It's amazing and definitely a must-do for the best day ever at Epcot. So here we go. Soarin' to Tower, ready for takeoff. Soarin' is definitely one I recommend getting a fast pass for. It's a very popular attraction. If you don't get a fast pass, possibly go first thing in the morning, because most people get into the park and run to Test Track or Frozen Ever After, so you can usually jump on it pretty quick in the morning or last thing at night. Frozen's probably the hardest fast pass to get in Epcot. Not probably, definitely the hardest to get, followed by, then it's kind of a toss-up between Test Track and Soarin'. Soarin' might be a little bit easier than Test Track, but still, this is on your list. I would recommend grabbing the initial fast pass or the second one after Frozen Ever After. Oh, this is the best day ever! I didn't even ask and I got Soarin' B1.
Hey guys, they gotta move it one more, okay? So this space in front of you.
wrapped up Soarin', and as always, it was fabulous, especially because I got B1 and I didn't even have to ask, which is definitely the best seat in the house, and you should ask for it. Soarin' is one of my all-time favorite attractions in all of Walt Disney World, so it's definitely part of my best day ever at Epcot. And like I said earlier, I don't think a 9.67 is high enough. It's an almost perfect attraction as far as I'm concerned. It's definitely the best attraction in Epcot in my opinion, so I would give it closer to like a 9.8, maybe a 9.9. Even if somebody wanted to give it a 10, I wouldn't be mad at them. So I love Soarin', definitely the winner in my book, and definitely part of the best day ever. Well, that is a wrap on my best day ever video here in Epcot. Was it a good day? Yes, duh. Any day in Disney World's a good day. Was it a great day? Absolutely. Was it the best day ever in Epcot? I'm sorry, it wasn't for me. For me, the best day ever at Epcot is also going to include the seas. It's definitely going to include Frozen Ever After. The food is going to be different, in my opinion, for the best day ever. I'm definitely going to get a margarita in Mexico. I'm going to do fish and chips. I'm going to do something from Lael. Maybe do a bratwurst in Germany. So the food for me was not the best Epcot has to offer. And let's be honest, my actual favorite thing to do in Epcot is simply to walk around World Showcase, eat and drink my way through, especially during one of Epcot's famous festivals. So I still had a wonderful day. I hope you had fun following along. What's your favorite thing to do in Epcot? Definitely let me know in the comments. Go leave some reviews at altears.net. In the meantime, friends, make sure to rate, review, subscribe to our channel, follow us on Instagram at altearsnet. And until next time, y'all, I'm Molly, and it's been magical. Want to see more of my videos? Click over here. Want to subscribe? You can do that right here. And also, ring that notification bell to make sure you get instantly notified anytime we post a new video. Thanks for following. See you real soon.